There are lots of different ways that narcissistic individuals will tell on themselves, from the lies they tell about what other people have done to them, which is what they actually did to those other people, to the narcissist blame shifting, to how they speak so highly of themselves, yet their words very rarely align with their actions. So this video is going to be about a few ways that if we pay enough attention to them, narcissistic individuals do tell on themselves. Some telltale signs that identify narcissism within a person. And one of the first of these behaviours is when a narcissistic individual is consistently bragging and boasting about who they are, the things they've done, the places they've been, the people they know. Now, we can all have some good news. We can all bump into somebody and just say a quick sort of hello, and we can all run in excited to our friends or a family and say, oh, you never guess who I just met. And as a now and again, as a one-off, and when you've actually just met that person, this is normal human behaviour. When you've just got a promotion, it's natural and normal to want to share the good news with loved ones. However, with a narcissistic individual, they tend to exaggerate. They tend to make things up. If you come to share your news, they start discussing their news, which they believe is superior to yours. They begin to take over the conversation. So share your good news with a narcissistic individual and they begin to make it all about themselves. On the flip side of that, we can all go through trauma, we can all go through pain, we can all go through suffering, we can all be victimized, we can all be manipulated, we can all be naive to a situation. And when you're struggling, when you're suffering, when you go to share this news with a genuine person, they look for ways to support you and help you. With a narcissistic individual, they look for ways to belittle you and criticize you and invalidate you. No one's allowed to be a victim around a narcissist other than the narcissist. They will be the biggest woe is me, hard done to person that you have ever met. Nothing is ever their fault. They're always looking for problems, and if you find a solution to their problem, they will find a problem within that solution. They're looking to gain that excessive attention and admiration by either bragging and boasting or gaining the sympathetic attention by playing the victim, and they don't like anyone taking the spotlight away from themselves. They will happily ignore your pain. They will happily ignore your suffering. They will happily interrupt you when you're discussing something. They will take over the conversation because they lack the empathy to care about you. They're not interested in you. They're interested in getting their needs met by you. They're interested in extracting the information they can from you to later down the line use against you. They are very good at sort of pushing in. They don't believe they should have to wait in line. Now, this isn't someone who sort of go to an amusement park, pay extra to cut in the queue. So you've paid for the entitlement in some way. This is a narcissistic individual who just believes that they don't have to wait. You can go to a restaurant that's booked months in advance. They don't need to book. They kind of have that don't you know who I am attitude, and they will come out with the threats to try and get their own way. They can be extremely rude to other people. They're not interested in other people. Other people are just there to serve them. Now this varies. If they're looking to impress somebody, they can be very charming and charismatic. However, if that person doesn't wait on the narcissist's hand and foot, the narcissist's patience runs thin very quickly and they begin to insult people. They're often very good at gossiping about others and spreading misinformation about others. There's no facts behind it, and there's no reason you need to know this information that they're telling you, but they get a pleasure out of ruining other people's reputations. They react very defensively when they're confronted with their mistakes. If you go and call them out on a mistake they've made, they become very defensive. They can go into the victim of, I knew it'd be my fault, oh, I can't get anything right by you, can I? Or they can turn around and shift the blame and claim, well, if you hadn't, then I wouldn't, or it's somebody else that let them down. It's always somebody else's fault and never their own. They can also react very aggressively to any form of feedback, even if you're trying to give them constructive advice. So if you've been in a job such as gardening for 30, 40, 50 years and you get an apprentice that's narcissistic, you cannot tell them how they need to do it because they already know how things need to be done. And any mistakes, it's you that told them wrong. When it comes to narcissistic individuals, they can offer to help to decorate the home. They're not a painter or decorator. They have no clue, but they believe they can do it better than anybody else. Now, when we're starting out, we might think, I don't need to pay someone. I can do this. And then you do it and you recognise you didn't masking tape up. You make so many errors on your first attempt. Life's a learning journey. It's a learning curve. Genuine people can kind of look and think, should have done that. Next time I will. Narcissistic people, what's your problem? Well, it's your fault because you didn't tell me. You tell them and you're in the wrong. They react very negatively, very aggressively or passive aggressively with their silent treatments to any form of feedback. They're only there for you when they want something from you, when they need something from you. When you need them the most, they disappear on you. Unless they can extract that in some way to make themselves look good to others. After all, I'm doing for them. So they will sink you for depression. They'll take you to the doctors to get you help and support. And then they'll want to take the home off you. And the builders put everything in my name so I can take the pressure off you. And what they want to do is steal those things from you. They tend to have a lot of road rage. We can all be having a bad day. We can all be in a rush. We can all have that temporary road rage. We can all sit there in a car in disbelief and think, what on earth are they doing? Yet, more often than not, we can also relate that when we're in an area we don't know, we might forget to indicate, we might suddenly realise we need to be going that direction, we might slow down because we can't work out quite what we're doing. So we can all have those moments, and most people can relate. With a narcissistic individual, they own the road and everybody needs to get out of their way, and they believe that they can teach everybody else how everyone else should be driving to the narcissist standards. They will happily put everybody else down. Usually because they're envious of the other person. They don't like seeing other people doing well. They get offended by other people's success and popularity and happiness and relationships. So they seek to devalue other people, to make other people feel like they're worth less than they actually are, not only to that person, but also to other people when they start gossiping about others. The best way for them to feel like the most important person in the room is by making everyone else feel insignificant. When it comes to narcissistic people, they believe they're the most important person in the room. They believe that they're always right. They believe that everybody should be showing them eternal praise and gratitude and recognition. And when these things don't align, they get incredibly offended. They take offense. They suffer that narcissistic injury. And then they go all out to right a perceived wrong, usually by attacking those around them to make themselves feel better. If anyone has any signs of a narcissist telling on themselves that you notice within their behaviour, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers, and your continued support with the channel is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. They'll be in the description also if you'd like to go and check those out. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.